What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another daily deck tech video, and back with another Hobbit one. And today we have Radagast. And disclaimer right off the bat, able to get this deck to be under $250, we will not be having things like Craterhoof or Galta Stampede Tired in there. They are both, north of $30. Need lots more reprints. Wizards, please make lots more reprints in a actual functional manner so we can bring card prices down, because the cost of singles is also going up. But before we get into our daily deck tech video, if you like my daily deck tech videos, or Magic for the Working Class, or Historical Commander, or any of my random talking discussion videos, feel free to subscribe, but only if you feel I've earned it. If you want to see your commander made into a deck tech, feel free to drop that in the comments down below, or fill out the Google form in the video description. Now, without further ado, we have Radagast of Rhosgobel. Good old Radagast. First and foremost, before we get into who he is as a card, I would like to please take a moment to appreciate the level of detail, care, and love on the art for this card. Like, Anna Podedwarna, you did not have to go this hard on this card, and I absolutely love the art on this card. It kind of reminds me of the art style from like the you'll see it a lot from like the 60s and 70s, the fantasy art that tries to be hyper realistic, and I think that captures like the almost like the style of what I imagine old Lord of the Rings and Hobbit being, is this style of art. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Bob Ross, but like this, I love this art. If I could afford a print of this art, I would get it and put it up, because it is, I really, really like this art. So, to the artist, Anna, if you ever see this, know that I very much love and appreciate the loving care that you put into Radagast here. So, now though, Radagast of Rhosgobel is a 2/5 for 2 generic and double green. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 generic less, and can be cast as though it had flash. So you can cast your big scary bears or questing beast on your opponent's turn, and for cheaper, which is always nice. So it's doing something in green that green loves to do, which is ramp. This is ramp for all intents and purposes, right? It doesn't tap to add mana, but it is reducing cost by 2, which is a form of ramp, which is phenomenal. 10 out of 10, no notes. My Timmy brain is very, very happy about this. And so, we're going to run over our opponents with big dumb creatures and do big dumb things. And how are we going to do that today, friends? Well, we got 28 creatures in here. We do have some fellow mana dorks out here to help our Radagast. We have Fyndhorn Elves, Llanowar Elves, Ornithopter of Paradise out here, as well as a new card, the Notary Hobbits. When the Notary Hobbits enters, if they're not a token, create 2 tokens that are copies of them, except the tokens aren't legendary, and then you can tap to add a colorless for each halfling you control. I actually need to pick up a copy of this for my Frodo and Sam food deck if I can find a slot to put it in. I would also note that Wood Elves is a mana ramp spell as well. Always fun. And then everything else is either stuff to help fuel us, or something to beat the brakes off of our opponent. So first we've got a little bit of nitro injection here with a Beast Whisperer. It's a 2/3 for 4, and whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card. So this is going to help you not run out of gas. You want to cast your Bjorn? That's cool. You get to draw a Carnage Tyrant potentially off of that. Speaking of which, Bjorn the Fierce, also from the new Hobbit set, is a 6/6 for 5. In essence, a 6/6 for 3 with Radagast in play. Trample and other bears you control get +2/+2. But you're like, Weston, we don't have that many other bears in this deck. But lord we do, because at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a trample counter on up to 1 target creature you control. It becomes a bear in addition to its other types. Then, if you control 3 or more bears, draw 2 cards. And yes, I am saying bears like that on purpose. I am what I am, and I will only ever admit that I am what I am. You get the no filter Weston every day. Carnage Tyrant A 7/6 for 6. Carnage Tyrant can't be countered, and he has Trample and Hexproof. This guy is incredibly hard to deal with. He is a 7/6, and he is going to, once again, beat the ever-loving breaks off of your opponents. You want to turn your creature sideways. Do not, under any circumstances, play Battle Cruiser Magic where you're going to sit there and build up a giant board and then swing in. You bring the pain immediately. The longer you sit there and do nothing, the more likely somebody is going to tap 4 white mana and blow up everything you've ever known and loved. This is your PSA from Weston. Knowing is half the battle. The other half is incredible violence. Disciple of Fraelis. This is an MDFC. Look there. You can pay 3 life for it to enter untapped. But when it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature, and if you do, you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. Fun times. Endray's Forerunners is the cheap Craterhoof Behemoth effect. Vigilance, Trample, and Haste, and when Endray's Forerunners enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +2/+2, gain Vigilance and Trample until end of turn. Eternal Witness. When it enters, you get to return a card from your graveyard to your hand, and it also is a 2/1 blocker. Always good. Big Gulta, or I would say, well, yeah, Big Gulta, because it's a 12/12. It's the simple Gulta. It does the simple things. It's a 12/12 for 12, and it costs X less to cast, or X is the total power amongst creatures you control. Has Trample. We have Goreclaw, Terror of Kel'Thuzma. Creatures you cast with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast. This is pretty fun, because he costs 2 with Radagast. So if you get him and him out there, that's pretty neat. That means that your Endray's Forerunners cost 4. Heralds of the Shredder, also known as Vigor. 6/6 for 6, Trample, and if damage would be dealt to another creature you control, prevent that damage. Put a 1/1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevented this way, and then whenever it's put into a graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. Hooray for anti-Millstrat. We do have Karametra's Acolyte. I didn't put this in the regular little mana dork category because it can make big manas. It's a 1/4 for 4, and you can add an amount of green mana to your mana pool where, it's equal to your devotion to green. Look at all these triple green mana symbols on our cards that we have here, friends. That is so many manas that you're going to be able to tap for. We have Kodama of the East Tree, 6/6 for 6, reach, and when another permanent you control enters the battlefield, or enters now, if it wasn't put onto the battlefield this way, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser mana value from your hand onto the battlefield. So you play Gulta, and you get to poop out something else that's also big, and then once again, beat the brakes off of your opponent. We have Kolga, the Titan Ape. When it enters, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. When it attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls, and you can pay 2 to return a human you control to its owner's hand. Kolga gains indestructible. I don't believe Radagast is a human, no, because he's a Maiar, and Maiar are these very special beings created by the Valar to go and help the peoples of Middle-earth. But there you go. We don't have humans in this deck, so don't worry. Oh, we got one. We got 1 human, friends. There you go. If you got your Karametra's Acolyte in play, you can return him. We've got ourselves Acidic Slime. Acidic Slime with Flash sounds fun. It's just Death Touch, and when it enters, you get to pop an artifact, an enchantment, or a land. We have Nylea, of course, 5/6 for 4. If her devotion is less than 5, she's not a creature. She's indestructible. Creatures cost 1 less to cast. And reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, put it into your graveyard. Always delicious. We have Orin Frostfang. Attacking creatures you control have Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Pathbreaker Ibex. Whenever this creature attacks, creatures you control gain Trample and +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. We also this is our expensive Craterhoof effect here. If you want to go higher budget, obviously put Craterhoof in here. Put Gulta, Stampeder in here, etc. We'll go over like an upgrade package. I'll talk about one at the end. Primordial Sage. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you get to draw a card. It's also a 4/5 for 6. Questing Beast. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. Can't be blocked by creatures of power 2 or less. Eat it, Mana Dorks. Combat damage that would be dealt to a creature you control, by creatures you control, can't be prevented. And whenever it deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to a target planeswalker that player controls, so their planeswalkers will be out there catching strays. Silverback Elder, 5/7 for 5. Whenever you cast a creature spell, choose one. Pop an artifact or enchantment. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, and you can put a land card from among them into the battlefield tapped, putting the rest on the bottom in a random order, or you gain 4 life. It's pretty good utility. Soul of the Harvest, for the harvest. Trample, 6/6 for 6. And whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Always good. Sarak and Goreclaw, trample. Other creatures you control have trample. And whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on it. Gains haste until end of turn. This is, we're going to call this budget, even though it's 11. Budget, Concordant Crossroads. Terastodon, when it enters, you can disrupt a 3 target permanent, a non-creature permanents for each permanent put into a graveyard this way. Its controller gets an Elefante. We have Tusky, Bearer of Secrets. Can't be countered, indestructible. It attacks each combat if able. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. For sorceries, not too many today. We have Cultivate, we have Kodamas Reach, and Rampant Growth, all for ramp. Harmonize for some card draw. Primal Surge, exile the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you do, repeat this process. I've played this card exactly 5 times in my entire EDH career, and although this card is fun, I personally have a bad vendetta against it, because every single time that I have done this, there was a deck I built that I literally had 10 instants and sorceries in it, and that was the card that was in it, and all 5 times I immediately top decked a instant or sorcery, and I wept. Azuri's Predation, for each creature you can your opponent's control, create a 4/4 Phyrexian Beast, then they fight each of those creatures. Overwhelming Stampede, until end of turn, creatures you control get +X/+X, and Trample until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. And then Triumph of the Hordes gives everybody Trample +1/+1, and Infect. This card's really come down in price, and I really need to pick up the Japanese version. Instants, we got Beast Within for removal, we got Bite Down, Cosmic Hunger, Ram Through. These are all bite spells. We have Entish Restoration and Harrow for our ramp. We have Hunter's Insight, choose target creature you control. Whenever it deals combat damage to player Planeswalker, draw that many cards. That's pretty fun. Fog, Corrosion Grip to pop an artifact or enchantment. And Return of the Wild Speaker can be an overrun effect, or you can draw lots of cards. Artifacts. We are running Emerald Medallion, Ronus Monument, Cloud Key. These make our creatures cheaper. Think of them as ramp. But also this one pumps your creature and gives it trample. We have Arcane Signet, Nyx Lotus, and Soul Ring. This is important for us to have redundancy, because if somebody kills Radagast, you still want your stuff to be cheaper, because nothing is less fun than having to hard cast an 8-drop and not being able to do anything else on your turn. We do have Lifecrafter's Bestiary. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay a green. If you do, draw a card. Yay. Enchantments. We have ourselves quite a few enchantments today. We have Asceticism, which gives your creatures hexproof. You can also pay 2 to regenerate a creature. It also has little old Radagast on it for the cheapest art, which is always, nice, fun, and thematic. Colossal Majesty. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature power 4 or greater, draw a card. Dancing from Dark Till Dawn. This card is really, really good. Really, really good. It is a 5-drop enchantment. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put X 1/1 counters on target creature you control, where X is that spell's mana value. And landfall, whenever a land you control enters, you get to put a bear onto the battlefield. And also, for those of you who play limited, this card is incredibly strong. This is a good draft card. Also, it was a very strong pre-release card for the people who had it. Garruk's Uprising. When it enters the battlefield, if you control a creature power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample, and whenever a creature power 4 or greater enters, draw a card. Sandworm Convergence makes it so things will fly and can't attack you. Get out of here, burbs. And then at the beginning of your end step, you get to create a 5/5 Verm creature token, the Fire Verm. If any of you know the reference where I'm like, it's the Fire Verm, 1, you're probably old like I am, and 2, excellent movie taste. Unnatural Growth. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. Up the Beanstalk. When Up the Beanstalk enters the battlefield, and whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, draw a card. Wilderness Reclamation. At the beginning of your end step, untap all lands you control. And because we beat Timmying today, we have 38 forests. That is the deck. It's very simple and straightforward. Now, for an upgrade package, I already mentioned you can put in Gulta Stampede Tyrant. You can put in Craterhoof Behemoth. Fanatic of Veronis is another good one if you want mana ramp in there. Concordant Crossroads to give your stuff haste. It's a 1-drop enchantment. I would say Zopandrel would be good. You can always put God Eternal Ronus in there as well. Just, adding a whole bunch of things that are immediate smashy threats are always a good idea. And now, to our playtesting. Drum roll. Will we get screwed over by Moxfield today? Let's see. Zoom out by 1. Alright, this is a good start. We have turn 2 Radagast. That's pretty neat. That's neat. We'll go like this. Turn 2. Yeah, we're going to play Radagast. Next turn. So, creatures cost 2 less, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to play Cloud Key, and we're going to name creatures. So now creatures cost 3 less and can be cast as though they have flash. This is pretty good. We're going to go to pass turn. At the end of our opponent's turn, we are going to drop down our Bjorn. Untap. Soul of the Harvest now costs 3, which is pretty freaking neat. We're just gonna do that now. I have to do double green for it though. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Soul of the Harvest, and then we have 1 floating. We're gonna do this. Lifecrafter's Bestiary. We go to combat. This 1 is going to represent a trample count. Well, I'm not going to put it on him. No, we're going to put on Radagast. Radagast is a bear. Remove counter. So then we're going to bring in for 6, and then he gets +2/+2, so he's a 4/7, which is pretty neat, and he has trample. And remember, then if you control 3 or more bears, you draw 2 cards, which is going to be neat next turn. So we're going to swing in there with our 4/7 as well. Bringing in the beats is always good. On our next turn, we plop down a forest. Gonna go ahead and pay 1 green for Karametra's Acolyte, which another non-token creature I control entered. So we get to draw a card, which is always neat. Go here and here. We're going to Harrow. View our library. We're going to grab this forest, close and shuffle. We put these forests down. And then, even though we can do flash, I want to draw more cards. So I'm going to go ahead and pay 2 green. And I'm going to play the Notary Hobbits. We get to draw a card. And we get to add a token. That is a copy. We have 2 token copies of the Notary Hobbit. This is also important. Another good include you can put in this deck, because we can generate so much mana, is Genesis Wave. One of my personally favorite cards. We go to combat. Now we're going to put a counter on him, and we're going to attack. And we're going to get to draw 2 cards because we control 2 other bears. Yeah. So we have 3 total bears. Pretty good. We could have cast green, but I'm stupid and forgot. We're going to go here. All right. So right now, we're going to go 3. We're going to cast Ancient Restoration. Because we have a creature, power 4 or greater, we get to get 3 forests, which is always nice, right? They enter the battlefield tapped, which is a big sad. I forgot to scry with my upkeep, but I don't care, because we got to search anyway. And then, yeah, let's just go for the win. 1, 2, 3. We're going to play Overwhelming Stampede. He is an 8/8. So everything's getting +8 +8. These are now 9/9s. This is a 9/13. This gets +8, right? So he is, well, yeah, he's already an 8/8. So he's a 16/16, 16/16. And this is a 12. And then on our turn, we enter combat. I'm going to go ahead and put a bear counter thingy on him. And then we're going to go ahead and attack for Mondo Big Boy damage. We did it. We did Timmy things. That's how the deck works, friends. If you like the daily deck tech, if you like how it works, let me know in the comments down below. Are you a big fan of Timmy decks like this? Let me know in the comments down below. But as always, I'm Winston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.